one of my disabilities is when I hear things, I tend to forget them because there's so much. But if I see the teacher writing it down, or if they put it on paper, then it's easier for me to remember it.
What we do is we look at the developmental age of the child instead of their chronological age. So we think of, well, what would be developmentally age appropriate for this child? Instead of what do we expect a 10-year-old to do, et cetera. And then we just do those things. And what happens is when we provide that level of support, what we see is the children blossom.
There are several ways you can adjust your teaching methods to help a child with FAS learn better. Use concrete examples to make abstract concepts easier. Cubes and/or calculators to teach math, Play-Doh or cookie cutters for the alphabet. Learning needs to be concrete and hands-on. Use a multisensory teaching approach whenever possible. Let the children see, hear, touch, and smell. If possible, use a computer or a white dry erase board with magic markers, rather than paper and pencil for children with fine motor coordination problems.
One of the things that I have found over the years of teaching is that the children with fetal alcohol syndrome or affect have a hard time using what I'm teaching them in one subject and then transferring or generalizing that information into another subject or into their lives. And so I try to integrate everything that I do to teach them whatever my focus is, whether it's numbers or colors or senses or whatever. Then it doesn't isolate it for them, because, you know, the children with fetal alcohol syndrome or affect tend to just focus in that thing, so they're using maybe just a pencil, you know, is used for writing, but also that crayons can be used for writing, markers can be used for writing. They can go outside in the ground and get a stick and write.
It's important to remember that children with fetal alcohol syndrome often forget. One day they can appear to have learned that 3 + 2 = 5. The very next day, when pressed with the same problem, they may not be able to come up with an answer at all, or the answer will be off by 5. So reteaching and patience, I think, are two very important skills for the teacher to bring to the task.
As well as going off of what you're saying, is teaching the strategy instead of just, you know, trying to get them to memorize 2 + 3 = 5, is teaching them how are they going to figure out. Because I have a little girl, she could look at that and she would tell me it's 3. It's like, how do you get 3 when we went over it yesterday? But I said, no, okay, how did we figure it out? We use dots, you know, beside the number. And if she could remember to do the dots, which is easier for her to remember than 2 + 3. So by using those dots, it's just a lot easier to teach the strategy than to teach addition.
Here are some additional tips for adjusting your teaching methods. Teach one concept at a time. Let the child master one piece of a skill before going on to the next. Check for understanding. Have a child with FAS demonstrate the right answer, not just tell you. Since children with FAS act younger than they are, use techniques appropriate for younger students to help children with FAS throughout their entire school experience.